Hello and welcome to this chapter number 23, Control and Coordination. And the last part that we're doing, a very, very essential, interesting part, the endocrine system. Just a warm up to what we're talking about. Have you seen young boys, you young girls, suddenly you are offshooting like a bamboo? You're growing and growing and growing, and people like, what is happening? The girls, you see the growth curve of the girls in terms of age, and suddenly 18, 19, 20, you have gone like maybe taller than your mom. On the boys, perhaps fathers and boys are competing and they're shooting like a cricket graph of a Indian cricket team and Virat Kohli is on a song. Boy, what is happening inside your body to make you climb is what we're going to talk about. The endocrine system is a very small part of chapter number 23, but it is very essential in terms of what you're learning about your own system, the biology that we're learning about. The system has some key terms. And let's run through those terms so you understand what we're talking about. The endocrine system needs an endocrine gland, a gland or an organ that produces chemical which shows significant changes in other part of the body. And that chemical is called the hormone. And when you all are absolutely hyperactive running around, that is when we say it's the hormone that you need. The hormones are running across. In fact, one of the hormones that makes you happy is called dopamine. You hug somebody, you love someone, you give gifts. It's the hormone we're talking about. But we'll not talk about dopamine so much, but we'll talk about these areas of our parts of our body. In the earlier part, in the control and coordination, we spoke about the cerebellum, the spinal cord, the medulla oblongata. Today, a very essential part of the brain that we're going to talk about is called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is the endocrine gland in the brain that is a part of both nervous and endocrine system. Remember what we spoke about? Right. So the moment I sneezed, there is an endocrine system that's working, and I've got an external stimulus. And this was not part of the teaching, but that is a reflex action that we learned about. Control and coordination. The gland inside the brain is the hypothalamus. We spoke about the pituitary gland, a very small pea-sized gland that's responsible for all the things you said, your astronomical growth, the hairs coming in, the body metabolism. And this is what makes a chapter very interesting because you're learning about your growing system. You're learning about how you grow and how you change. So if I can take it forward, a period where the growth is happening, you have, mustaches, you're sexually active, is called puberty. And it is important as a part of your sex education, you learn the system that we grow. The entire thing I spoke about, the glands that produces the hormones that makes the changes in the body metabolism, is the endocrine system, right? So we did a little bit of hormones. We'll talk a little more about hormones. You can call a hormone as like a chemical messenger. The system needs hormones. As I said, dopamine, oxytocin. These are some of the hormones you need. They're called happiness hormones. Have you ever gone on a roller coaster, a ride, or like I did sometime back, bungee jumping? The body has fear. The body has some kind of stress going on. Your hairs are standing. There is a blood circulation. Well, that is the adrenaline. The adrenaline is when a cricketer steps on the field and he sees the people shouting, rooting for the nation, and you want to perform. This is adrenaline. And that is a hormone released by the endocrine system to counter the huge emotional changes we go through. I shave, and the beard that come in, the male hormone is testosterone. So, when you have all the testosterone, we say the anger, the passion, the determination, the female version of it is the estrogen. The hormones help you to grow. That's what testosterone and estrogen will do. It regulates your height. And when the hormones are not released or over released, that is when you have dwarfism or gigantism. Guys studied about Gulliver's travel when he went to the land of Lilliputians. Well, that's the dwarfism. Well, they didn't tell you the scientific theory. It is nothing but the growth hormone not growing well. So endocrine gland, what does it include? I told you, right? Hypothalamus in the brain. the pituitary, the thyroid and the parathyroid gland, the thymus, the adrenaline and the pancreas. And of course, the reproductive glands. Let's take a little bit of each one of them as we go ahead. So the thyroid is what controls the creatinine, the calcium in the blood level, and it is here in the neck, which is why when you have, no thyroid or deficiency of it, you have a disease called the goiter that comes into it. So you need, and then there's parathyroid, four tiny, parathyroid glands that helps phosphorus and chemical. You have a pancreas. Trust me, pancreatic cancer is a very, very, Steve Jobs had pancreatic cancer. So it is right below or behind, the stomach, and it controls the sugar level. And exactly, moment you say sugar level, what are the two hormones pancreas releases? Very important. Insulin and glucagon. And hypo deficiency of it, insulin, what happens? You need insulin shots. People who have diabetes. Remember, pancreas, another very important gland that you need. This is where the word insulin and the word diabetes come in. Most of us who have these diseases or family members suffering from it will probably be so aware of these essential glands in the body. Hypothalamus, it links the nervous system, the endocrine system, and controls many of the glands, including the pituitary. The growth hormone, I told about the pituitary gland. We'll speak more about pituitary in detail, but you see both of them are right there. Can you see the stem cell, the medullus oblongata, the cerebrum, the cerebellum? There is your hypothalamus. There is thymus, which helps to develop the immune system. This gland shrinks in size as you grow older. Then adrenaline, the response of the body, the salt water metabolism, all of these are hormones we're talking about. Also, the endocrine system is responsible for the human reproduction. So you have the ovaries in the female that generates eggs. Remember, the hormone is estrogen. And then you have testis, which releases testosterone. And that is regulating of sperms in the male body. Do not be shy. Ask questions, because this is your level for you to understand the growth in your body. So a little bit about hypothalamus, because it's so important. It controls, you feeling hungry, you feeling sleepy. All of these are at the hormonal level of the hypothalamus. Pituitary is a small pea-sized gland altogether inside the brain, and it functions all the body in terms of growth, reproduction, metabolism, and that is such an important part as you understand your human body. So you become puberty, you become adolescent, the teenage years that we say, or screenagers. Well, all these are what we're talking about, these glands. As I said, a very small chapter, a very interesting chapter. And perhaps, as we always do with our chapters, we'll run through quickly about some of the in-text question behind them. And probably by that time, you'll be confident to start answering all of it, the endocrine system. So the hormones, as we spoke about, are transported to the organs in the body. Fill in the blanks by what? It's a very simple thing. Any kind of transportation, it has to be the blood. Fair enough? Okay. The hypoactivity. Remember, I said hyper is when you're over. Hypo when it's less. The hypoactivity of thyroid gland, right? So, which is responsible for creatinine, the production of the calcium part causes, yes, the goiter. The goiter that we spoke about. Pancreas releases two hormones which helps in the metabolism of glucose. Well, the answer was metabolism, but I'm more interested in the hormone name, insulin and glucagon. So these are some of the areas if you look into it. There are one-word answers. Let's do. There's also the multiple choice. Will be fun. You go to a pathology center to know about a hormone. What would the pathologist collect? Blood, brain, endocrine gland, or any part? If you go to Nirixa or any of those centers, it's blood that is collected in the pathology center. So most of the answers. It's good. Hyperactivity of pituitary gland. Now think of it. Hyperactivity of pituitary gland is causing, well, about gigantism and dwarfism that we spoke about. But in terms of pituitary, the pea-sized gland, that it's the Cushing disease. That's the answer. You need to learn. It's an easy part of it, but I'll go ahead. It's just part of your chapter. If you look at it here. Okay, this is goiter. Not a very nice scene to see, but you need to be careful about it, isn't it? There's a thyroid here. There you are. It is caused by hyperactivity of pituitary gland, the Cushing disease. And what happens in Cushing disease? You see excess growth of hair, even in females. Suddenly a beard or a mustache, a lot of hair, you become like a bear. Well, these are some of the diseases that imperfection or gland secretion may cause it. Okay, neurons that carry impulses from sense organ to the brain are, remember the answer is here, sense organ. Which neuron are we talking about? Yes, the sensory neuron. You know, the part of reflex, reflex, remember it's not just the brain, the spinal cord is included. So both brain and spinal cord is a part of your reflex action. Two neurons are connected through, well, somebody's put a lot of effort, axons, dendrons, dendrites. I think I taught you about it. The dendrites of the first neuron to the dendrite of the second one. An axon is, we just learned about, it's a nerve fiber, yes, but it's not just one nerve fiber. It's a bundle, but it's not the word we use, right? So you got the answer. It's a sheet. So it's like a covering of a nerve fiber. Suddenly you see your body temperature is very high, higher than usual. So what is the organ that's creating this change, this hormonal change in your body? Yes, it's not these two. Remember, we spoke about the brain part. We'll talk about it in a little while later. But it's the small gland in your brain, the hypothalamus. Fantastic, you're doing wonderful. So subconscious mind is located, all your memories, all your skills, all the consciousness that you've got, it's the cerebrum. Wonderful. Now I am making it easy. I'm so sorry. I should make it for cerebrum there. There you are. Hyposecretion of insulin. The moment the word insulin comes in, you know the answer has to be diabetes. So, these are all quick answers. Once you solve your papers, we'll do a lot of solving of the papers. You will learn that these are ones you can do it in less than a minute and you get your marks. Absolutely certain. The part of the brain that helps in balancing, remember Johnny Walker? It is the cerebellum. Remember alcohol, what it does to your part of the brain. And finally, Sudha likes to sleep in and wake up, but during exams, she's so stressed out that she doesn't need an alarm clock to wake up. Some of you you will still sleep. What part of nervous system? Remember the one that is about stress? Remember SNS? It's either para or sympathetic. It has to be sympathetic nervous system. Thank you, Sudha. You stay awake and alert for your examination. And for all of you, all the best. Do well. Good luck.